When Utrecht was announced as the grand départ for this year's Tour de France, few batted an eyelid. Cycling's biggest race was coming to one of its true heartlands. The arrival of the Tour in Holland this year has, however, served to remind some that no Dutchman has won a Grand Tour since 1980. With such a long absence from the top of the podium, passion for cycling in Holland still seemingly thrives off the past.
In 1968 we had the first Tour de France winner, which was Jan Janssen. But if I look to myself, why is cycling at this moment so popular in Holland? That comes because of the 70s and the 80s, when you had really a lot of good riders like Joop Zoetemelk, like Henny Kuiper, Jan Raas, Gerry Kneteman, the famous rally team from Peter Post, who made cycling really popular, because at that point, I got to say, the Dutch and Rally, that were the heroes of the peloton.
With those names now part of a distant past, questions as to where the new heroes are have inevitably surfaced. The simplest answer, it would seem, is part of a wider trend in cycling.
Cycling has changed. It's becoming more and more a global sport. Before we only saw riders out 4 or 5 countries, and now you see from all the different countries, even from Costa Rica, there are coming riders who are on a good level. So that makes it more and more difficult to win big stages.
In the past you were 30, 40 riders in the peloton, maybe even more. Yes, then also in terms of numbers you are better, of course. The sport has become more and more global, much more people participate. So it's clear that then the more people participate, the more difficult it is to distinguish yourself, which is, from a global perspective, only good for the sport.
What has been good for the sport seems to only have been bad for Dutch cycling. A decline in Dutch riders in the peloton has been mirrored by a decline in Dutch sponsorship. Following Rabobank's unceremonious exit from cycling in 2012, the withdrawal of Belkin at the end of last season left the Netherlands on the brink of no World Tour team for 2015.
We saw already that Vakansolei couldn't find a new sponsor, so that team disappeared. We saw that Argos Shimano changed in 2 years from a Dutch team to a German team, and now we only have Lotto Jumbo. And also when you look to the budget of Lotto Jumbo, it's not that they have big money, so it's really a problem in Holland.
Yet the Tour's arrival in Utrecht coincides with a sense that a corner is being turned. One of its most consistent Grand Tour performers over recent years is sensing such change amongst the riders and cycling fans of Holland.
When I started my first tour in 2008, you know, I was 20th in GC and I was the main man for Holland, and I don't think the public is satisfied with that anymore, and we're not either, so we're ambitious. I think we're competing again for GC, you know. Maybe there are 4 guys already in this team, and then you got Mollema and some other guys who couldn't do top 10 maybe even. So we showed who did top 10 before, and that's a big difference.
Strong Dutch performances in recent years have arguably fallen foul of over-expectation. Since 2010, the likes of Bauke Mollema and Robert Geesink have delivered 9 Grand Tour top 10s. Meanwhile, in 2014, a 13-year drought on the Monument Classics was ended by Nicky Terpstra at Paris-Roubaix, and Lars Boom clinched a first Dutch stage win in 9 years at the Tour. With 20 riders having made the start in Utrecht, the highest number of Dutch participants since 1990, there's a sense that Holland's breakthrough act is waiting in the wings.
I do really believe that there's a group of very young talents coming who will be, I don't want to say dominant, but who want to be more, they want to achieve more sport. They will achieve more sporting results. I mean, in our team, Tom Dumoulin, who's doing well in the smaller GCs and for sure in the time trials, one of the best of the world. And in Lotto Jumbo, they have Wilco Kelderman, which is, in my opinion, a great talent. And in their slipstream, there is more guys coming. So I do believe that there will be good times ahead for Dutch cycling.